people have been good, bad, naughty, buying stuff, properties, caravans, trailers, motorbikes, handbags. Last COVID, it's been a bit of a spending spree.
Yeah.
Let's talk about people. Are they doing the right thing with their money? Stay tuned.
Well, where's all the money going? There's a lot of money being spent, not just on property, guys. There's lots of money being spent on cars, motorbikes, bicycles, handbags, caravans. So we're going to talk tonight about what is the best way to invest your money. What do you reckon, Mr. Novak?
Yeah, you know what? I'm very respectful about people that have fallen into hardship. So yes, there's been people that are working in travel. There's been people who work in hospitality have had some particular hard times. But for the majority of Australians, and anyone can confirm this, it's been very interesting the last 2 years to see people's actual spending. Furthermore, on an annual basis, I think $65 billion used to be taken offshore when people used to go on holidays.
Yeah.
That $65 billion for a couple of years has actually stayed straight in the country. And it's hard to get things. Tradies are finding it hard to get power tools. People are, definitely willing to consume, willing to spend. And the big thing that I wanted to urge people tonight was it's great because you sort of got to reward yourself and you got to invest in yourself and that sort of stuff. But make sure that you're investing in stuff that's what would you say? It's appreciating assets, not appreciating assets, not depreciating assets. It makes a big difference. And we're going to talk about when that starts compounding, what a huge difference that makes.
So and I think that's a really great topic for Mark to talk about. But I think there's also another side to this, and that is that, we're living through just so much at the moment. There's days where you get up and you're just like, what now? I mean, the poor people of Tonga, all these horrific things that, we're having to be faced with every single day, and people are looking for an outlet, Mark. So yes, there's one side of this where you can say, all right, when you buy the holiday fund, you buy the hobby fund, you're going to make money out of it, or, you're better off to buy something that's right there under your nose that you're familiar with. That's one side of it. But the other side is people just need reprieve. And they find that in the weirdest of places, right? It could be in a handbag shop, as I said. It could be going and buying a caravan or buying a motorbike so that you can just jump on a bike and escape for a little while. Bicycle sales are through the roof, right?
A lot of stuff's through the roof.
They're through the roof. So there's two sides to it. But, yes, we're certainly going to be addressing tonight. Home renovations have gone through the roof as well. And we always had this philosophy, Mark, that when we were buying investment property, anytime we bought investment property, that we would always just buy stuff that was right there under our nose.
Yep.
And that's changed for us as well, like it has for many people. I'm dealing with vendors on a daily basis that are saying, Lisa, I want to sell because we're moving up to the North Coast or we're moving down the South Coast. They're making this, these decisions, and no doubt they haven't been made lightly.
Are they going to get bitten on the bum?
I think we're too far into COVID now, into this new world, for this to be knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah.
I think that this is life now. I really do. We all thought we were coming out of it, and we're not going to spend the whole show on COVID, but we all thought we were coming out of it with the vaccinations. We thought we had our armour on and we were ready to rock and get back to life. And then, of course, we got smacked in the face with this new Omni.
I don't mean to sound silly, but it's honestly like war. Like it's like you can imagine in World War I, World War II, the stuff that happens, like can't leave your home, stuff that happens, and when will it be over? Oh no, it's not over. This is now happening. Oh no, it's not over now. This is happening. It's almost like that in a way. So I guess if you look back in history, it may tell some tales of how we're going to act coming out of this.
Yeah. So in terms of buying stuff, Mark, what do you feel? So tonight, guys, for those of you that have just tuned in, we're talking about, should you buy a caravan, should you buy a car, or should you buy a property? What are good investments? I think if we asked this question to ourselves 3 years ago, you'd be like, oh, we all know the answer to that. But the reality is, go try buy a caravan. Right? These things, you could have bought one 3 years ago, and I reckon you're making a profit on it if you're selling it today. They are impossible to get your hands on.
Cars, yeah.
They're impossible to get your hands on.
I think I had a friend in the car go to buy a car the other day, and the second-hand one of the same car in the lot was $17,000 more. So the guys are going, well, you know what? You can wait. I think it was $100,000 car.
Oh, my God.
You can wait, and it's going to be 6 months to get the car, or you can buy this puppy for $17,000 more, virtually no kilometres, same thing, so you get it straight away. So,
and people want it now. They want it now. We have absolutely. If we thought that we had absolutely no patience 3 years ago, fast forward to now, right? You think about how we do things. I mean, our daughter was on the phone the other day, and she was saying, "Oh my God, there is literally no Deliveroo. You cannot get stuff. I've got to wait 45 minutes to be able to get my Thai food." And I was like, and that's normal. We grew up like that way. That was so normal to us. These days, we're spoiled brats. We cannot wait for things, and guaranteed we will pay more to get stuff immediately.
Guaranteed.
Look at how we order food, Mark. Look at how we order food. We order food by what is going to be there at our doorstep the fastest, not what we feel like. Think about it, Uber.
Yeah.
You'll pay more to have an Uber at your door in 3 minutes than you will in 9 minutes.
You know where it is.
So what are your thoughts, Mark? Where are you going to spend your money? In a property, in a caravan, or in a car?
All of them.
Well, I'm not doubting him.
But here's the secret. I think you got to look at, when you look at property, for every 50,000 that you put in, you can buy $200,000 worth of property, or $250,000 worth of property. So you put in a small seed, and the banks will give you the rest at a very low interest rate. Furthermore, if you do buy that property, I'm assuming it's an investment property that you buy. It will pay for itself. So the money you borrow, it will pay itself off. Now, I think that if you get your priorities right and you do the property thing, then you can probably pat yourself on the back and do the car thing in years to come, and do the caravan thing in years to come after that. But the property thing is definitely the slow burn. It's definitely the slow burn. It's the hard burn.
It is.
Yeah, people get nervous. They think they can't do in this case that we're talking about tonight, a caravan or a car, whatever that, or the holiday, but you can do it because the property pays for, in this climate with these rents, with these interest rates. It's been like that for a couple of years, 3 years now. It pays for itself. Now, if it's doing that, you can still go and do all the other things. It's getting your priorities right. Because if you do the car first or the caravan first, I'm sorry, you're not going to do the property.
I agree with that. But again, like what I was saying at the beginning of the show, there's an emotional side to this as well, where people are just needing the reward. It's like Groundhog Day every day, and people are running out of steam. We're running out of steam here. So, it's like every single day, here we are, 2022. It's like, yay, Happy New Year. And now we're 2 weeks in. We're like, can we have a refund on this? This sucks. So, and people are looking for the reward.
Going in this Christmas, we all thought, it was R&R 101. This is going to be awesome. And a lot of people got robbed.
Got robbed of their holidays, hit with COVID. And here we are now into the new year, exhausted, absolutely exhausted, because no one's had a break. It's been tough. I say go buy yourself the reward.
I say stay focused. Stay focused. Nothing has really, yes, everything has changed, but the fundamentals have not changed. Invest into something that's going to compound and make money first. Then invest second into the car or the caravan or whatever that may be. But I say, don't get sidelined with all this bullshit going on. It's really easy to get sidelined and say, look, COVID, I'm not going to do this because I'm not going to do that investment because I'm not going to do that because. Don't do it. stay focused.
And what
on
about
keep? You know, a property is just.
So what about buying property? So we've often talked about buying property in your own area, buying property under your nose and sticking to your knitting.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on buying property now that is rural?
Sucks.
These hobby farms and buying properties out of area. Come on, how many times are we selling for people that are saying, I'm going to go to the Blue Mountains, or I'm going to Jarvis Bay, or, you know, I'm heading up the North Coast? What are your thoughts on that?
I can't tell you how sustainable it honestly is.
Yeah.
If it's a heart and soul move, go for gold. You got to do it just to stay sane. That was my brother going to Port Macquarie, going to Queensland. He just needed to do it for him and the family. But in terms of economics 101, investing in property, no.
So sticking to areas that you know,
100%,
more so than buying in these other areas at the moment. Okay, so let me give you a family member went up to Mullumbimby for a holiday and came back with a house. Bought it for $750,000. 12 months ago, the property's now worth $1.6 million.
Say that again.
A family member went up to Mullumbimby and bought a house, true story, and bought a house for $750,000 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Property's now worth 1.6 mil.
Bullshit.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's true.
No,
fact. The properties in the area comps are selling for $1.6 million. Okay. So, but the reality is the property, okay, let's put it this way, is the Marxism dramatising, which I'm not, is the property worth $750,000 today?
The one the family member bought?
Yes.
Nah, it's worth more.
What's it worth?
It did well. 1, 2,
okay.
1, 2, 1, 3.
1, 2, 1, 3. Yeah. Okay. So that's not bad profit, Mark, in that period of time.
2 years, it's
okay.
Great.
So is buying...
2 years. Not 1 year.
Okay, but hang on a sec. Is this good investing to buy out of area, or is it not? Because I say it is.
I say it's potluck.
No, I don't. I say it is. I say it is.
It's potluck. I helped
a client buy up near Tweed Heads.
I look at what property's done over the last 50 years in a suburb, and I reckon that's a really good reference to see how it's going to go in the next 50 years. And like, there's so many places I've seen over 30 years of being a real estate agent. I've seen so many sore heads over people coming back to Sydney from Central Coast or Queensland or Western Australia, saying, oh my God, if I just bought that little one in DY or that little one in Sydney. So many sore heads. You know, 2 years of COVID is not going to blindside my vision on what property has done over a long period.
So, okay. So tonight we're talking, guys, about should you buy a property, a car, or a caravan?
Yes.
And you're saying you should buy all of them in that order. A property, a car, and a caravan.
I reckon
in that order.
If you can do it. You honestly can do it. On a conservative way, you can do it because it's all about prioritisation. I had a talk with one of the guys in the office today. His brother is getting paid, he's washing cars for a living, and he Ubered to work, and he Ubered back, and he bought lunch.
Oh my God.
So basically,
there goes all his money.
There goes all his money. So, it doesn't matter if you're getting paid well or not well. If your priorities are screwed, and like something like that, it's bad. So you just got to have, no matter where you are sitting on wages, if you've got your priorities nailed down well, you're living within your means, you can have it all. You can do that property, you can do that caravan, you can do that.
But it is a slow burn. It is a slow burn. This stuff takes time. Yeah. All right. You cannot play the property market like you do the stock market. You cannot, because the property market at the moment is a roller coaster. You cannot be buying a property and then selling it next year and thinking that you're going to be able to cash out and make shitloads of money. Excuse the French. It does not work that way, guys. It is a long-term transaction. It's a long-term transaction. I do want to talk about caravans, Mark, because we actually bought a caravan I'm going to talk about
Christopher's question after the caravan.
Okay. So we actually bought a caravan.
It's a live show, guys. If you want to make any comments, ask us now. We'll put them on screen.
Please do.
Make sure you're on Novak channel Facebook if you're asking the question.
Yes. Hey, Christopher, I hope you're well. Absolute legend. Thank you so much for your awesome message the other day, which I did post onto my social media. Thank you so much. Caravan. So we actually went to go buy a caravan about 3 months ago. So, Mark, we did go and buy a caravan 3 months ago. Now, they are impossible to get, absolutely impossible to get. And I'm completely guaranteed that if we sold that caravan today, we actually have made money on it.
I agree.
So these things are great investments at the moment.
What's a great investment?
It is.
What makes that a great investment?
Because you're going to sell it and you're going to make money on it.
Doesn't matter. I'll tell you what a great investment is. A great investment is you go and buy a property.
Buying handbags, that's a good investment.
But the banks, like it's not a great investment. In your soul, it is. Like in your family, in like soul, spirit, mind, body, whatever you want to call it. Yes, but not dollars and cents wise.
But Mark, that is so relevant in this day and age.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it is very relevant in this day and age. Not everyone wants to be bunkered down with a big mortgage, with everything that everyone is going through at the moment. They say to themselves, you know what, stuff it. I'm going to go buy the caravan. I'm going to get 2 years of enjoyment out of it. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'm going to go travel around the countryside. I'm going to use my mobile phone and I can work from there remotely because work allows me to. And I'm going to go and enjoy life and live a COVID-free life for the next couple of years. And then just throw the cards in the air and see what happens. I say it's not a bad investment. Yes, let's answer Christopher's question. I live on the northern beaches and you wouldn't recommend investing in outer areas like South and Central Coast. Okay, Mark, I'll let you answer that one and then I'll put in my 2 cents worth.
Think long term and don't just think because it's done well in the last year or two, it's going to do well the next 10 or 20 years. Long-term view, long-term play. What has it done in the last 10, 20 years?
Yeah.
What will it do in the next 20 years? Don't be skewed by COVID.
It's safe. It's safe. And I have to agree with what Mark is saying. Yes, a lot of these out of areas have been performing exceptionally well. We don't yet know if they've reached their absolute peak because we don't have history on this sort of stuff. But what we do have is history on areas like the Northern Beaches that continue to outperform most other areas in New South Wales. Fact.
Don't shit in your backyard.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it really disturbs me that people spend their life and they do so well out of Northern Beaches property, and then they're like, "Screw you! I'm going north. I'm selling up, and see you later, alligator." I think you've got to. I think you've still got to be true to your core and your belief and your family and what made you. And I believe that your tribe, where you were schooled, where you were brought up, where you made your money, the industry, and I think if you've got to stay true to all these things, you don't let 2 years change or obliterate your whole vision and goal of what you've been building the last 30 years. So the reality is, you and I could go, screw it, sell what we've got. Let's go live mortgage free somewhere.
Yeah.
But there comes a time where 5 and 10 and 15 years down the track, you're like, where's our parents? And we're like, hang on, this property here hasn't done that well. And, we're actually not that clever. What we did the last 30 years built that. People have got to be really careful.
There's a lot of emotion that's getting in the way here as well, where people are sitting around a Christmas table saying, you know what, stuff this. I'm sick of it. Yeah. I don't want to live amongst all of this COVID anymore. I'm going to go up the North Coast or down the South Coast. I'm going to go live on a farm, get a hobby farm and live relatively COVID-free. My advice would be that you should go and try before you buy, rather than selling up your wonderful asset on the Northern Beaches, and then moving to somewhere like Berry, which is a beautiful area. But you might get there, Christopher, and spend 4 months there and go absolutely batshit bonkers because it is that quiet there. We've just spent a little bit of time on our farm, and I can tell you now, after 48 hours, I'm like, Mark, get me out of here. Take me somewhere. We've got to get out. I need to go have a drink because, see, we're used to this fast-paced life. And so when you dumb it down, it's a really, really different situation. You think it's what you want until you start living it for a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, and then you realise you're going to rip your hair out.
Yeah.
So try before you buy.
And I always say there's 10,000 things you know about a property, a suburb, before you invest in it around where you live.
Yeah.
So where you grew up, there's 10,000 things, the hospitals, where's the medical centre, where's the where you get this done, your car wash and the service or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're going and taking all of your money into an area where you know nothing about, just because it feels good and it sounds
I'll tell you
good,
what I find is really,
Bay.
I know, but the thought of that in your mind is paradise.
It's sexy.
And then the reality of it when you actually are living it is something quite different.
Yeah.
So one thing that I struggle with when we go to our farm is how slow everything is. Like we'll go to Woolworths.
Like the internet.
Internet's a killer. And we've got fast internet there and it's still a killer. And look, these are small world problems, guys, but these are things that we are so used to living in the northern beaches, living in the eastern suburbs, living in the CBD, and then you move an hour or two out. And it is definitely something that you need to consider. People and everything around you is much slower, much slower.
So in conclusion, buying a property, caravan, car, what do you reckon? Like, from what we've said tonight, I guess it's what?
Well, for me, it's divided because there's the investment / money side of things, and then there's the emotional / reward side of things. And I think they're all equally as important right now in this life that we live in.
Business and personal.
Yeah, maybe that's the mum in me, but I'm feeling like, that is it's very, very important to take into account all of those factors, Mark, because, there's more to life right now and forever than just money. And I think you've got to ask yourself, guys, what is it that you want out of that?
Yeah.
Is it for your own mental state of mind? Is it to make money? Is it because you're stressed? Is it because you need to free up finances? What is the reason why you would, choose to buy one of those things?
Stay strong.
In terms of money, I think property trumps all.
Stay strong, invest in property, and let's get through this and keep investing. Keep investing in yourself, in your family, in your future.
Absolutely.
But still invest in your personal as well. If you need to upgrade your family home, if you need to take some time off, or definitely to exercise more, invest in yourself, definitely. But I think prioritization out of tonight will be the most important lesson I could offer from what I see clients do when they offer me that information, and prioritization, and then proportion. Like too much of anything is no good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So balancing it all.
Agreed. Hopefully that's helped some of you guys out there. And it's an interesting topic, actually. It is an interesting topic, but hopefully that's helped some of you guys out there. I reckon that's a show.
That's a show. And Chris,
can we just spend the last minute actually just talking about the property market?
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I was just a bit unsure, to be quite frank. I think I'll go insane living anywhere else other than
Hey, man, me too, Chris.
You know what?
Me too.
Chris, great advice. Best advice, I think, for you tonight from Elise. Rent it. Try it.
Try before you buy it. Definitely. I just want to talk about the market, particularly on the northern beaches.
Yes.
The first couple of weeks, this has probably been the busiest couple of weeks we've had as a business in terms of sales. Buyer inquiry has been absolutely off the charts. Very unusual for this time of the year.
Strongest numbers at open houses we've seen in 2 years.
Yeah, it's incredible.
In the last 2 weeks.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
So anyone who launched their property early in the new year, good luck to you. Very smart. I do believe that there will be quite a lot of stock coming to market. I did 7 appraisals today, guys. 7. That is a lot of appraisals. An average agent on an average day may do, I don't know.
I did 70.
An average agent on an average day would do probably, I don't know, an appraisal. One appraisal.
I reckon average age will be 2 a week.
2 a week. There you go.
Yeah.
So I did 7 today. So that just tells you. That just tells you lies. That just tells you, you know, what's to come. So I would suspect we're gonna see quite a bit of stock hitting the market. That's it. That's a wrap.
That's the show. And
sorry about the bad hair day today, guys.
Everyone, love you. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And invest in property. Get those priorities right. It costs it. If you invest in property, it's more your mind that's it's doing your head in than the actual dollars, because it pays for itself.
Agreed. See you guys. Have a great night.